Hello and welcome to another edition of Your Property Matters. And today I am joined by a good friend of mine, an old friend of mine, Ian Dobrin, who is actually, Ian, why don't you tell everyone, say hello and tell everyone what you actually do.
Yeah, hello, Mark. Yeah, hello, everyone that happens to watch this. I've known Mark for many years now. My background from the early 80s, I was an estate agent, 13 years in the business, had my own estate agent in the mid-80s. I was an area manager for a large independent agent, 7 offices in East London and Essex many years ago. I started a recruitment company for 20 years for estate agency, and we were 15 consultants and acted for most of the big companies and thousands of small companies around the UK. And good few years ago now, up until 2 years ago, I was the group recruitment director for the largest estate agency in the UK. Well, they've just become the largest because they just bought the second largest. I'm now a mentor with EXP, which obviously knows the self-employed model. We're bringing it over from the States. And it's quite an amazing experience just watching this business grow in the UK, as well as France, Spain, Portugal, Israel, all over the world. And obviously, Mark, you're a very important part of that because I was very delighted to be able to introduce you to this model and for your customers.
Yeah, talking about the uniqueness of the business model itself, I mean, the most frustrating thing within this business model is convincing the general public that they can't, they've grown up they've been living in an area for 10, 20 years. They know all the high street agents. They're used to walking past their windows and looking in their windows, popping their head in from time to time and chatting about the market, which is something that they can't do for me as a self-employed agent. But I think that what they don't seem to realize is that they can pop their head inside an estate agent shop and chat to somebody. And the person they could be chatting to may have only been doing it for a couple of years.
Yeah. And probably won't be there at the end of the transaction. The big thing for me is that the most important thing when you're selling your property is the person that comes to your home that you trust, that you trust that they're going to look after you, they're going to do everything properly, promote it well, present it well, but also that person is going to be the person that's going to hand over the keys at the end of the transaction. In 12 weeks, 16 weeks. It takes 12 weeks, 16 weeks, 3-4 months for the average transaction to go through in the UK from start to finish, from viewing an offer. And the problem with the high street agents is the front desks are normally occupied by the more junior people, as you say, someone that might have only been in the business a year. They're the person you normally walk in and meet first of all. Then you get a different person come and value your house. That's the valuer, because that's what they get paid their small percentage for, to come and value your house. And then when you actually sell your house and you're back to probably the first person again to make viewings, you end up with a sales progressor or someone that professes to, I'm going to help you get this sale through. But the chances are in that 3-month period that 2 or 3 of those people will actually leave that business. The turnover of staff in the high street is as high as it's ever been. And I've got 30, 40 years experience in estate agency recruitment, as you know. Turnover's higher than it's probably ever been. And the chances are, if you deal with any high street company, unless you're dealing with the owner of the business, they're not going to be there at the end. So I think what you guys offer, the personal agents, and remember, we're the only country in the world that hasn't got this self-employed personal agent model, which we now have. So we're catching up with America, France, Spain, all the other countries that work with people working from home, good estate agents, good real estate people, loads of experience working from home. It's changing massively. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. It's down to you, Mark. If someone puts their house on, they know that Mark Stern is going to be there all the way through, every inch of the way.
And you can't hide. I can't hide behind the name of a company. I can't disappear for a few days and somebody else takes over from me. It's accountability as well, but it's pride. It's pride for me. I'm proud to have that accountability, that somebody will want to speak to me, that I want to be able to help them. When I lived in America years ago, decades and decades ago, I was 20 when I went out there, and back then the estate agent, real estate agents had their faces on the boards, and you know, you never ever thought of the company name. I mean, you'd see Remax here and Century 21 here, but overall, it was just about
personal agent.
That person. It was the personal agent, and it's funny because we are. I think we feel that in this country we've been behind on two things to America, two really good things. So obviously it doesn't matter about some of the bad things, but the good two things that we've been behind have been real estate and food. And we have caught up with food. You know, our restaurants give an amazing service now. You know, back in the 80s when I was there, it was literally like, you know, you were in Technicolor when you went out to eat in the States, whereas over here it was complete black and white with everything bland. And the other thing was real estate. You're meeting these dynamic people that know everything there is to know about the property, that have great relationships with the vendors and with the buyers, with everyone that they're dealing with. And I feel that this business model gives that now to our people.
Can I say, Mark, you hit on something there. The big thing for me is when you take a house on the market, and you see, especially EXP, obviously the company that we're involved in, but you see the posts go up with all these agents all over the country with the properties. They are so proud of their instructions. They are so proud when those properties are posted. You do not get that feeling from the average estate agent on the high street. When they post up, they post it because they just want to put it on Rightmove and Zoopla, and hopefully they'll sell it. That's it. They rely totally on the job boards. With you local guys, you get so excited when you take a house on, when you put a flat on the market. It's like it's yours. And that's, as I've said, I've been in this business a long time. When I was an estate agent in the 80s and 90s, I think we felt like that. We took an instruction on, and we felt that, you know, that was our property. You know, we were responsible for taking on and selling that property. In the 90s and 2000s and leading up to today, I think estate agents have become so commercial. It's almost become a numbers business in the high street. We have to sell 15 a month. We have to sell 20 a month. The personal agent, in many places around the country, only sometimes need to sell 3 or 4 to actually earn a really good living and spend a lot more time and care on those instructions. That's the way I'm starting to see it. And the last thing I'd say is that the research has told us that vendors are happier to pay a fee to an individual. You know, people always moan estate agents are expensive. Yeah, that's never changed. You know, what do they do for their money? When they deal with a personal agent, they actually see what the agent does for them. They feel it, and they're really happy to pay it. And that's been the biggest thing for us in the last 2 years. Whereas when you're paying a high street agent, ABC Estates, XYZ Estates, you know that the owner of the business is going to get 100% of the fee, and the person you probably dealt with, or the few people, are probably going to get about £50 or £200 commission for doing that job for you. And that's the thing. It's changed. People are happy to pay direct to someone that is going to do the whole job for them, the whole job all the way through.
Yeah, completely. I just want to add a couple of things to that. So first of all, for anybody that's obviously listening to this and watching this, we've known each other now for quite a few years. You were a director at a large corporate that I was a manager of, and just happened to be that we go back a long way, and we were in the same town, which happened to be Bushy. So we got to know each other, and we become friends. But I think so. This is what I always feel. Estate agency in general is like passing the baton. When you give an estate agent your property, it is a baton. They're running with the baton. They're not looking at it. They're getting it shoved in their hand from behind, and they're keeping on running because all they're focusing on is the next property, the next property, the next property.
100%.
The way that I see it, this has been always I've always been torn. So when I came to work for the large corporate, for example, that you were with, I always find myself going to work for a company and then becoming promoted quite soon. To whatever level I've gone in at, get promoted, because obviously that's where the money is, and that's what was my aim and my ambition. But what that promotion ended up doing was taking you away from the customer, because
the
then
job you love.
you're dealing with then the staff. And however good a teacher you are, and I think I was a pretty good teacher, good mentor to the negotiators working with me, I can't be them. They can't be me. So what you're doing is you're diluting yourself down so that all you are is on the other end of the phone. I used to go out and do valuations because that's what I'm great at. People seem to like the fact that I could be in front of them, I can get their properties on, but then they would never see me again because I wouldn't be doing the viewings. And the only time that I would then get involved if there was an issue, or to have a serious conversation, or to do the sales progression, which actually is taken away as well. And I actually always say that as an estate agent, you've got more chance of getting a 5-star review from the sales progression that you give than from the rest of it. Because in essence, in a good market, if your property is priced right, you'll go on the market and you'll get under offer and you'll be sold, hopefully within a short space of time, maybe within weeks or a month tops. But that sales progression may take 2 to 4 months to go through. So you're constantly then speaking to that. And that's where the stressy part comes anyway. So this business model allows me, one, to be in contact with the customer all the time. To be doing the valuation, to be doing the viewings, to be, I'm even there when the photos are being done. I get sent a professional photographer around, but I'm there near enough every single time because I'm doing my little video anyway. But I want to make sure that the photographer is getting the things that I'm spotting on the property, even though he's professional and amazing, that you just never know. Just for example, I was in a property the other week that had been on the market with another agent, and I looked through the photos that it was on in the past, and I noticed that the boiler was dated and it was in a utility room, and the photo of the utility room showed the boiler. And I said to the vendor, I want to get a photo of that room but facing the other way, because the boiler, he said to me, but the boiler's fine, it's serviced regularly, this and that. And I said, yes, but when somebody's just looking at a photo of your property online, all they're seeing is, that's an old boiler. What else is old in the property? Whereas if they're not seeing it and I'm taking them into the property, we can have the same conversation about the boiler. I can explain the service history. We can explain if they want to change it, but look at the rest of the house. So it's all these different elements. And I think that's what comes. It's just, you cannot beat this business model at all.
No. I think the other thing, Mark, is really interesting is COVID. A year ago, 2 years ago, estate agents would have said you need a high street, you need offices, you need pictures in the window. For a year, nearly every high street estate agent in the UK was closed. They still have been locking their doors recently. I walk past the high street agent and you see 2 or 3 people staring out the window in most cases, wondering what to do next. It's an old model, and COVID has just brought forward this possibility in all industries, not just ours, but in all industries where people can work from home effectively, offer a fantastic service from an office or a shed. And there's some really nice sheds out there these days, as we know. These sheds are 5-star, some of them. So I think that's what people are starting to realise, and the proof is in the eating, that vendors across the country, whether it's our business or others with a similar model, they're really happy to give it to a person that they like. I'm hearing agents are picking up instructions from vendors that have known them for 10 years, but knew them, not the person they were working for. And they see their face on the board and they say, oh my word, and they're literally phoning that person up, giving them the instruction. So the world's changing, the UK is catching up. So we're in at the very beginning of the change, but as you know, the numbers are growing daily, and everybody wins, because we've got all these people now like yourself, Mark, that are making a nice business for yourself, earning what you should be earning for what you do. And the vendors have suddenly got all these experts, really good people that are now available to them without having to pay their boss before they even get paid that person. So it's interesting. We are catching up with the States, and I tell you, we'll have this conversation in 2 years' time. There'll probably be potentially as many self-employed agents as high street agents out there for the public. So it's really exciting to watch it. And me and you are veterans, been around a long time. we've seen a lot of change, but it's really exciting, and I love it to watch someone like you personally use what you're good at yourself, Mark. You know, your customers are very lucky they get to work with you.
Thank you very much, Ian. Thank you very much indeed. I really appreciate it.
That's all right. No, look, it's easy. You know, at the end of the day, you've built your business. You're very popular. You're winning instructions. Your customers are happy. You're there for them through the good times and the bad times. But like I said at the very beginning of this chat, you're there at the very beginning on the valuation, and you're going to be handing those keys over. And I think that is crucial. And you're going to do everything in between to make it work for them. So, yeah, really enjoyed the chat today. And I hope you continue to be successful, Mark.
Thanks very much. All right, take care.
Okay, speak to you soon. Cheers.